Welcome to the city of Osaka for the International Skating Union Senior Grand Prix event. We are past the halfway point now of the Senior Grand Prix in a very exciting season, the Olympic season this year. Sights now of Osaka, incredibly busy city, 2.7 million and over 19 million in the greater Osaka-Kyoto metropolitan area. Osaka indeed one of the most densely populated cities in Japan. A wonderful host now to this, the NHK Trophy. 4 times the Pharmaceutical Dome, which we'll head to shortly, has hosted the NHK Trophy. First in 1996, 2005, 2020 and 2023. And the welcome to Osaka, something that the skaters so greatly appreciate. So many of the skaters, as we see the Raktab Dome, so excited to be here for the 2025 NHK Trophy, the 46th NHK Trophy event. And there we see the amazing venue here. Just a phenomenal location for what will be guaranteed to be some incredibly exciting competition. So many skating fans around the world incredibly happy with what has been showcased throughout the first 3 events of this, the Grand Prix already. And now we look ahead to the first day of this prestigious competition. First NHK Trophy took place back in 1979 in Tokyo, and it has been a regular feature on the Grand Prix series. Last season there were wins for Japan, the host nation, in both the men's and the women's event. But we will start today with the ice dance competition. Surely you'll see the starting order for that. Some great excitement to see the return of the Shibutanis, former Olympic medalists, who will open the competition, as well as some firm fixture feature couples we have got to know so well over this Olympic cycle. And it is just such an incredibly exciting season this year, the culmination of long-term battles between different teams vying to conclude their competitive careers with the Olympic glory, as we see the starting order for the rhythm dance. Confirmation of the second group of skaters, with Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson being the final team to take to the ice. And they will be one of the teams eager to try to secure a spot at the Grand Prix final, which returns to Japan next month, as we see the lineup of the judges. Their role so critical, and more so than this, the Olympic season, as to the importance of the technical panel there, the technical controller, 2 technical specialists, who will decide the levels of the elements required in this, the rhythm dance.
Skaters from the United States of America, Maia Shibutani and Alex Shibutani.
And there, the return of Maia and Alex Shibutani. 7 years since they last competed. And then the Japanese representatives, Yoshida and Morita.
Fabbri and Ayer.
Canada's Fabbri and Ayer.
From the United States of America, Wolfkostin and Tsarevski.
And into the World Junior Silver medalists, Katarina Wolfkostin and Tsarevski.
From Germany, Janse from Rensburg and Stefan.
And the final team to compete in this opening group, Jennifer, Janse van Rensburg and Benjamin Stefan.
Skaters, please start your 5 minutes warm-up.
And so the 46th NHK Trophy now underway. The skaters will have all had practice ice earlier in the day, but now it gets to crunch time as we see the skaters. 5-minute warm-up for the ice dancers. Here is Maia, Shibutani. It's amazing to see confirmation that they have returned. They had told the skating community and the world that they were coming back to competition. Surprised not to have seen them compete thus far. They have very little to go on in regards to this year's material. This is the last time they competed in 2018, and they decided after that to take a break from competition following 14 years of non-stop competing and training. But now they are back. And there on screen, Yatana Yoshida and Masaya Morita from Japan. They already have had a busy season. Disappointment for this team. They tried to secure a spot for Japan in the Olympic Games by competing at the Skates to Milano figure skating qualifier in Beijing. So close to securing a spot. Fortunately, problems with their free dance prevented them from achieving that. Subsequently, we have elected to return to our former free dance for the remaining events of this season. And then to a team in their first NHK experience, Canada's Alicia Fabbri and Paul Ayer. A team that are feeling super motivated since the World Championships in Boston, having earned a third spot for Canada in ice dance at the Olympic Games in Milano Cortina. And indeed, they've already competed in Osaka this season. They competed at the Kanoshita Trophy, which took place a couple of months ago. Fifth at that event. So we see Wolfkostin and Tsarevski. They in their first senior Grand Prix together, the World Junior silver medalists.
This season they won bronze at the Challenger Series.
Although they are new to the senior Grand Prix, this team, I predict, have a very bright future ahead in the senior ranks. Very comfortable acknowledging the crowd as their name is introduced to this arena. And they're the German champions, Jennifer Janse van Rensburg and Benjamin Stefan. Benjamin became a father this year. His son Leo was born in March earlier this year, so congratulations to him. So as we head into the closing moments of this, the warm-up. The opening team, and the reason that the 2018 Olympic bronze medalists Maia and Alex will open this event, they don't have a world ranking or standing currently because we haven't seen them in the competitive arena. But they won this event 10 years ago. Fascinated to see how they will fare in the mix this season. Such a hotly contested event, the ice dance competition. Last week, Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier won gold at Skate Canada. And this, the Olympic season, the season in which we have seen the return to competition from Maia and Alex. Olympic champion from 2022, Guillaume Cizeron, with new partner Laurence Fournier-Baudry. Other world medalists from this Olympic cycle, all battling it out to see who will achieve one of those coveted medals in Milano Cortina at the Olympic Games next February.
Maia, Shibutani,
So, Maia and Alex Shibutani, now 31 and 34 years of age.
And Alex Shibutani.
10 years ago, they won this event. Former world medalist, former Olympic medalist, returning to competition in this, their rhythm dance, a night out in the 90s, the Shib Shibs out in Shibuya. Solid opening with their twizzles. Dance type step sequence, 4 difficult turns necessary to aspire to achieve maximum level in this technical element. This, their choreographic rhythm sequence, one of the 5 required elements in the rhythm dance. Well, submarring a tiny stumble from Maia at the end of the performance. There are people standing up around the arena here to support the return of competition for Maia and Alex Shibutani. Really admirable to have had as clean a skate as that, with no competition experience this year. So difficult to have any insight into how their preparations were going. And now the judges have the work to do to see how this will fare in comparison to some of the world's best teams. Of course, Maia and Alex, as one of the best teams in the world 2 Olympic seasons ago, will want to be competitive. 21 years they've been skating together as Marina Zawaeva, their long time coach, greets them ringside. said that this rhythm dance, authentic to their personal experience and cultural identity as Japanese Americans, using the DDR concept as part of a very heavy different music edits throughout this. There, the twizzles, and you can see the body movement. We've seen it from them before, stylistically so similar to what is ingrained in their body from the years of skating as a partnership. And this, the non-touch step sequence, you can see the years of their birth on their skates, attention to detail through the costume as they try to embrace this, the necessary 1990s theme this season. And this really ignited the crowd, this, the choreo rhythm sequence. Before we look at their closing element, the rotational lift, level 4, of course, change of pose, the choice of the features that they have used to achieve the level 4. For a team like this, though, as we see the difficult 1-foot turns feature within the rotational lift from Alex, they'll be vying for the highest of grades of execution. Maia said performing requires vulnerability, and she wasn't ready to be back last season, but after a lot of hard work, she said she feels confident and happy. And she shares a hug with Massimo Scali, who joins Marina in the kiss and cry with this team. How will this score compare? Indeed, what are they hoping for? 71.74. It's not a massive score. Components in the low 8s. 9 teams to go as they assess their return to the competitive arena.
Yoshida and Morita Masaya gumi, Nippon.
And now, Utana Yoshida and Masaya Morita, they too have a rhythm dance based on DDR, the video game dance trend from the 1990s, which was so very popular in Japan.
吉田詩奈、森田正也組の演技でした。
よかったですよ。
Difficult entry into the rotational lift. And we see here from Utana Masai, not as much speed and ice coverage within this as we'll see from some of the later teams. But from the team that competed here last year, they were 9th at the NHK Trophy last year. That there's some redemption from the disappointment, the bitter disappointment that they had following the Olympic qualifying event. And they've had a rough time really at this event. They had a collision with Charline Guignard, the final competitor in this event, during practices. Relief to get through a clean skate. They await their scores.
吉田、森田組の得点 69.61。現在の順位は第2位です。
So 69.61. I'm sure they were hoping to cross that 70-point marker, but that higher score than they achieved earlier this season. And indeed, that a new ISU personal best as they slot into second place, not far behind the experienced Americans.
3番、アリシア・ファブリ、ポール・エアー組、カナダ。
On the ice, representing Canada, Alicia Fabbri and Paul
And now to
Ayer.
the Canadian team, Alicia Fabbri and Paul Ayer. They've enjoyed performing this rhythm dance already this season. Bombastic, the opening track.
Mr. Bombastic! We want is a bombastic, romantic, fantastic lover. Shut it! Mr. Lover, lover. Now Mr. Lover, lover. Hey, girl. Mr. Lover, lover. Now Mr. Lover, lover. She call me Mr. Bombastic, tell me fantastic. Put me on me, but she says I'm Mr. Rowe.
Like the other two teams before them, opening with the twizzle element. Alicia and Paul showcasing the most ice coverage in the element thus far. And the non-touch step sequence, one of the required elements, working the edges to ensure that they achieve as many cleanly called turns as they can. Of their half and dance type step sequence. Difficult turns there. Back bracket for Paul. Forward outside mohawk for him. Back rocker for Alicia. Just the counter turn, the final of the difficult turns, followed by the helicopter movement to signal the end of that element. Alicia Fabbri and Ayer from Canada. Such an engaging team. They'll a little stumble at the start of the choreo rhythm sequence, and interestingly that has had an exclamation mark from the technical panel. That will be reviewed, and indeed 4 of the 5 elements for Alicia and Paul currently being reviewed by the technical panel here as they ascertain the levels and the requirements for that, the choreo element. But I think you can really sense the difference there in the teams that have had the outings competitively. Alicia and Paul looking comfortable with this material. And indeed this, the rhythm dance, something that they described as feeling natural to them. As performers, there'll be a stark contrast to their free dance, which we will see tomorrow. Roman Agenauer seems satisfied. You see some pretty epic performance capabilities there. Falling leaf, difficult entry into the twizzles. And as I say, as you get the reference point for the panel rinkside, you see how much ice was covered here comparative to the first 2 teams. And then they're allowed to stop within the non-touch step sequence to really try to push the component scores, the presentation and the composition. As they work through the twizzle, one of the difficult turns that can help to push the level up, and the level 2 assigned to both Alicia and Paul as we see the rotational lift. And the team so invested. As we look through the choreo rhythm sequence, unfortunately for Alicia and Paul, the requirements have all been fulfilled in that element. So the judge is able to give a good grade of execution. Throughout the season, we've seen some couples really struggling with the call on that choreo rhythm sequence. See Alicia and Paul coming out unscathed there.
Fabbri
Their highest this season at the Challenger event was 67.84 in their rhythm dance.
今シーズンの自己最高得点を更新しました。
Coach Roman seems more satisfied with the 68.53 than the skaters. They slot into third, just over a point underneath the Japanese team.
4番カタリーナ・ウォルフコスティン、ディミトリー・ツァレフスキー組、
And now to
On the ice,
a relatively new and young partnership, just their third season together.
Wolfkostin and
The
Tsarevski.
World Junior silver medalists, Katarina Wolfkostin and Dmitry Tsarevski. They said they spent a good deal of the off-season learning boy band style choreography for this, their rhythm dance, skating to the Backstreet Boys.
Rock your body,
walk around turns to signal the start of the pattern dance type steps. Back counter there for Dmitry. Well, character continues beyond the music for the American team of Katarina Wolfkostin and Dmitry Tsarevski. This their first senior Grand Prix together. It'll be interesting to get an insight into the perspective for this team moving up from juniors last season. Their names not necessarily in the mix of the intense battle between the American ice dance teams all vying for the Olympic spots. But certainly they have done themselves proud with that performance, managing to keep any nerves at bay for competing at this higher stage event. And the quality of their strength as skaters individually, proving their validity of being here as a team. And it'll be interesting now to see how the technical panel and the judges consider this in comparison to fellow Americans Maia and Alex. As Greg Zorlin says good job to the team. As I say, the team worked hard throughout the off-season to prepare for this in the 1990s. A little bit of a separation here through the first twizzle. Perhaps from the judges' perspective it wasn't noticeable. But ideally the couples wanted to stay as close to one another as possible, managing to readdress that by the time of the Group C feature. The third twizzle, as we see, change of pose, but a host of features available to choose from with Katarina's great range of flexibility there in the rotational lift. And as we look at the choreo rhythm sequence, it looked like they relaxed a little bit by this penultimate element and allowed themselves to really let go and push the presentation component. So it looks like the judging panel still have the skating skills of the Shibutanis higher than that of Katarina and Dimitri. However, from a technical element score perspective, this coming in higher as they shape hearts in the kiss and cry alongside Coach Greg.
Wolfkostin組の得点 72.12 今シーズンの自己最高得点を
So it's a 72.12. They moved into first there, the leading American team at this stage in the competition. That's significant for the team just moving up from juniors.
Jennifer Janse van Rensburg, Benjamin Stefan組
And now to the German champions, Jennifer Janse van Rensburg and Benjamin Stefan. They, one of few skaters and teams who are competing in back-to-back Grand Prix events. They were 8th in Skate Canada last week. How will they fare with the exhausting travel to compete at the NHK Trophy? Germany's Jennifer Janse van Rensburg and Benji Stefan. I think the performance on occasion was a little tight, almost element by element. They had different levels of success within that rhythm dance performance. I thought the pattern dance type step sequence was perhaps a little cautious, but then the cardio rhythm sequence showcased more speed and flow than many of the teams would normally use within that element. And that is down to the judges to ascertain the components and the grades of execution. So tough, not just to compete in back-to-back Grand Prix events and back-to-back events, but also with all of the travel, different time zones required for participation here in Osaka for Jenny and Benji, as Rastislav Sinitsun greets them. A team so glad to be here in Japan, and indeed they've created a gala performance specifically for the Japanese fans who are so brilliant, as we see them work through the rocker turn there within part of the non-touch step sequence. And then an outside Choctaw trying to secure the higher level. Unfortunately, it's just coming in as a level 1 for Jenny, level 2 for Benjamin. And that little break in rotation perhaps there for Jennifer on the opening rotation. That could drop the level, but fortunately coming in as a level 4 for both as they work through the more difficult clockwise rotation twizzle. Some great characterization from them. Their difficult entry into the rotational lift. At one level. You see abject commitment from Jennifer there to the finish position.
The score is
Hi, Colin. Hi, Colin. Hey, Colin.
Shout out to the training base in Oberstdorf where they work with Rastislav. So a little disappointment there for the German team not to be pushing above 70, 69.73 in what is a closely contested competition already, as they slot into 3rd place after the first group of skaters.
And are you ready? And let's welcome the skaters. From Finland, Yuka Orihara and Yuho Pirinen.
Patiently waiting their introduction to the arena, the Finnish silver medalists Yuka Orihara and Juho Pirinen.
Czechia, Natalia Taschlerova and Philip Taschler.
And then to their training mates this season, Natalie Taschlerova and her brother Philip.
And Michael Parsons.
And great to see Caroline Green and Michael Parsons back after disappointment at the Cup of China when they were forced to withdraw.
Guignard and Fabbri.
They are back, Charlene Guignard and Marco Fabbri.
From Great Britain, Lila Feeder and Louis Gibson.
Final team competing, Lila Thier, Louis Gibson.
Skaters, please start your 5 minutes warm-up.
The 5-minute warm-up underway. As we see Yuka Orihara warming up. She's such a character. She and partner Yuho were 14th at the World Championships in Boston in March earlier this year. They qualified a spot, a second spot for Finland at the Olympic Games. Yuka currently not with a Finnish passport, unclear whether or not will be able to achieve that in time to compete in Milan, having to stay focused on the job in hand. So we see Natalie and her brother Philip. New coaching staff this season, now working with Maurizio Margalio and Neil Brown, as well as Massimo Scali, Nini Parkkinen. Team renowned for their speed and ice coverage.
Taschlerova and Philip Taschler.
And there, Caroline Green and Michael Parsons. Undoubtedly, they'll be so bitterly disappointed with the outcome of Cup of China when Michael had a fall within the twizzle element
They are the 2022
and
foreign
were forced to withdraw. The
This season they won bronze at the
last thing
Challenges
any
Series in
skater wants
Slovakia.
to do, especially an
Representing the
event
United
of
States
this
of America,
prestige and grandeur.
And
But now,
Parsons.
Coach Greg explaining that they've worked hard, they've stayed united, and now hoping to restart success here as we see Charlene Guignard and Marco Fabbri had a collision in practice with the Japanese team of Yotana Yoshida and Masaya Morita. It was a nasty fall. Both of the Japanese skaters fell down to the ice, but I think Charlene took the brunt of that. She, in practice, has had some strapping around her wrist. So I'm hoping she's not in too much pain and discomfort, but this team really eager to have a better outing than what took place at their first Grand Prix in France. So we look to Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson. Multiple-time British champions. Interesting to see this team, unlike the others, who are focused on the elements required in the rhythm dance, using their warm-up time to just work on basic stroking skills.
At the 2023 NHK Trophy and won their first World Championship medal bronze last season.
As is customary for Lila and Lewis, one of the earliest teams to debut new material. They had competed already many times, and indeed they won the rhythm dance when they competed at their first event at the Grand Prix de France, the first Grand Prix event this season.
1 minute left in the warm-up.
As Maurizio Margalio, he, a former world champion, gives parting wisdom to the first team to take to the ice. So interesting to know how this will unfold, not just because of the Grand Prix event and winning the NHK Trophy, but also, as we see a little stumble there from Charlene, of the significance of where these results lie in the energy of this season, the Olympic season. And we had grown accustomed to seeing the same teams atop the podium at the World Championships last year. However, Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson usurped that. They made their way to the bronze medal position. And the emergence of new teams, the return of old teams has thrown into question all the previous expectations of what might take place this year. Thus, everybody really interested to see what will materialize. Hopefully the power lies very much in the hands of the skaters to deliver the performances that will get the results that they all aspire to achieve.
6番ユカ・オリハラ UFO ピリネン組フィンランド
So opening this second group, Finland's Jukka Orihara and Juho Pirinen. Juho turned 30 last Sunday and now hoping to celebrate with great skates in Osaka. They were 6th at this event 12 months ago. They will be the first of 2 Spice Girls 90s performances in the rhythm dance within this group. Finland's Jukka Orihara and Juho Pirinen complete their rhythm dance. Music that they chose to entertain, something that this team is so renowned for. The music choice was to give people joy and entertainment. That they do. However, from a sporting perspective, the opening element, the twizzles, had mistakes which I sensed lay heavy in the minds of Jukka and Juho throughout the performance. Not necessarily the same freedom and effervescent joy that we're quite used to seeing from the team. They know only too well the implications of mistakes on any technical element within this rhythm dance, especially in a year and in a season where the competitors are so closely connected in scores. Good to see though, Jukka embracing the audience. She, born in Asaka City in Saitama, racing towards Maurizio. The same kind of reaction from Juho as he leaves the ice, conscious of the mistake made As we see fresh manicure polish there for Yuho at the start of the program. Here, first anti-clockwise rotation, twizzle okay. There, just that minuscule break in rotation. On review, very little impact really. But as I say, in a field this closely contested, that will drop levels and impact the tech score and the grade of execution as we see them exploiting the opportunity to touch the ice within that element, the non-touch step sequence. And this, the best of the elements. Stop the lyric. Perfectly enunciated, so forcing the judges to give more positive features on the grade of execution from Yuka. And this team, still relatively new in the senior ice dance community. It's teamed up in spring of 2019. So their season's best 71.78. So a little furrow of the brow from Yuka as they receive a 67.93. And unfortunately, they find themselves in 6th place currently of the 6 teams. Wish them all the very best for the free dance. As we look to the Finnish team's new training mates, Natalie Taschlerova and Philip Taschler. Natalie had an ankle ligament injury during the off-season which hampered their prep. But they said that they took the time to recover properly. Explained that they feel grateful to be back on the ice together. They skate to music by Jennifer Lopez and Enrique Iglesias. Fantastic example of the necessary helicopter movement to close the pattern dance type step. Well, I thought that was a great skate from Natalie Taschlerova and Philip Taschler. And the required characteristics for this season's rhythm dance for the senior teams is to have high energy, crowd-pleasing movement and music. And so many of the teams have kept high, fast tempo pieces. I thought this was a great example of a good music choice whereby they showcase different energy. The Be With You, Enrique Iglesias, the soundtrack to the pattern dance type step sequence, just showcase the opportunity to have a little bit of a differentiation between and throughout that performance. So we look back now at some of the slow-mos. Right forward, outside edge, the entry edge for their second twizzle. And then right back outside edge, the entry edge for their Group C feature. And a comfortable level 4 with a good grid of execution for both. Here, forward inside counters. And this team, we've seen such brilliant depth of edge from them in the past. That on music, showcasing from a judging perspective, good example of body control and movement as they do the change of pose and the 1 foot exit of the straight line lift. And how wonderful there. You can see on the faces of this sibling partnership the joy that they have in performance. Of course, the skaters are so conscious of the need to skate cleanly, the need to satisfy the judges to get good scores, but I feel that Philip in particular seems to be very much in the moment, at least for the final element, the choreo rhythm sequence, is the Czechia. Team jacket is waved by Natalie. Now their personal best was achieved this season. That was a 76.55 at the Andrei Nepola Memorial this year, and should they be scoring similar to that, that will shoot them into the lead comfortably. As we see the same nail color on Philip's nails as Juho Pirinen, their training mate, and they've expressed how much joy they have in this new training location this year, sharing the ice with the 2 Finnish senior teams. I think they enjoy being the youngest team now, gaining some wisdom from the life experience of the other teams that they now train with. So it's a 72 that leads currently. So 74.7, first place. Not the score they were hoping for, but it remains to be seen whether or not that will be enough to put them in contention for a medal.
8番キャロライン・グリーン、マイケル・パーソンズ組、アメリカ。
On the ice, representing the United States of America, Caroline
And now to the third and final American team competing at the NHK Trophy, Caroline Green and Michael Parsons. So great to see them back. They're now injury-free, ready for a clean rhythm dance performance. Just the most wonderful movement to music. Nice clean rocker and counter there. Good depth of edge here. That's the element that caused them problems in China. Safely through. example of clean edge set and the back rocker from Michael. And the counter from Caroline. I'm sure there must be such relief for Caroline Green and Michael Parsons to get through that rhythm dance. I cannot imagine how many emotions they have had to work through since they competed in China. The crushing disappointment of having to withdraw from the first Grand Prix assignment in arguably the most important season of their careers must have been enormous. And now that monkey is off their back. A clean rhythm dance skate here. And we've seen some of the tracks used here performed by the Lithuanian team. I think Caroline and Michael, they too perfectly suited to the material that they have chosen. And I was really mindful and conscientious of the depth of edge, particularly in the opening midline step sequence. And all the teams at this caliber of competition, such competent, strong skaters. But here, look at the angle of the right forward outside edge and the back outside edge. And here with the back counter, ankles so pressed over, forcing the technical panel to call those turns. And they may look small in what's happening, but so significant in how it can impact the technical score. A little out of sync on the twizzles, but I'm sure at this point, their hearts were racing with the stress and anxiety of remembering what happened in China. And Michael had a fall that ruled them out of the rest of that event. There, the rotational lift. Difficult exit with the Bauer and the twizzle to push the expected level 4. We see some armography. Difficult transitional content to close the program for Caroline and Michael. You can see what it means to the team. And now, as Greg Zerlin joins them in the kiss and cry, chance for this team to build from here. They want to be in contention for an Olympic spot. 3 teams from America will go to Milano. So 75.14. The front-running American team at the NHK Trophy after the Rhythm Dance 2025.
This is their season's best score, and they're currently in first place.
And now to the Italian champions, Charlene Guignard and Marco Fabbri. Such regulars on the circuit. Such debate about the scoring over their performance in Grand Prix de France off the podium. Some of their lowest scores ever as seniors in their first Grand Prix assignment. Hoping for much, much more now as we see them skate to the Backstreet Boys. Oh, that break in rotation there for Marco. Costly mistake on the twizzles. Well, an internal discussion between Charlene and Marco as they complete the rhythm dance, and I wish I could lip read to see how they're interpreting that performance. The mistake in the twizzles will be costly. Submarring that though, the quality of skating skill and the body control of this team indisputably superior by far to that of anything that we have seen in this competition. Now, all competitors at a senior Grand Prix event have to be of the highest caliber. And in the ice dance competition, it can sometimes be difficult to differentiate the teams, but immediately to me, this team showcasing greater quality of skating skills, that is what they are renowned for. And that to me very evident in this performance. And I think now, it's a shame because of the mistake made, but the piece as a whole looking sharper. They didn't compete in the Challenger Series as we normally do. Normally they always debut their material on the Challenger Series at the Lombardia Trophy. So perhaps now the improvement for Charlene and Marco within the season will be more exponential, perhaps later than is normal for the team, as they're now in their second Grand Prix assignment. Straight line lift. Here, the twizzles. And the speed of the rotation was much faster than any of the other teams. Greater risk brought that mistake there, the break for Marco, and you can see unable to conceal his disappointment in his face there. It means so much to these teams, and this team have found themselves dropping down the world standings, second at Worlds in 2023, then the bronze medal 2024, off the podium this year. But Charlene and Marco so desperate to climb back up to be the world leaders as they head toward the Olympic Games in their home of Milan. Barbara Fusapoli there, the long-time coach. So as I say, there was a great deal of debate over the scoring that they incurred at the Grand Prix de France, but that was with a relatively clean skate. 77 points there, but they want to be up in the 80s alongside the scores of the likes of Piper and Paul last week at 85. It's a 76.36. There has to be an acceptance, albeit disappointment. There has to be some semblance of acceptance of a score because of the mistake. And for me, the program is better than it was, but it's a sporting arena and the elements need to be delivered.
10番ライラン・フィアー、ルイス・ギブソン組、イギリス。
On the ice.
And so to the final team competing in the ice dance, rhythm dance, Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson of Great Britain. They recently celebrated a decade of their partnership. They assume a difficult start position with the Spice Girls. Wow, what a skate from Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson. And a little rare display of celebration from Lewis in reaction to that performance. And I think both Lila and Lewis look totally invested in the moment. And this team, so popular in Japan, you can see the Union Jack flag wave abundantly around this arena. And for throughout really the course of this Olympic cycle, Lila and Lewis have been in close contention with Charlene and Marco. But it did sense that in this performance, Lila and Lewis, perhaps they heard the score of Charlene and Marco, perhaps they're conscious of what's already unfolding this season, but you sense that this was more a demonstration skate, that they performed like they were in a different league,
I did
that
enjoy
they
that.
are...
You were stressed. I was stressed.
No, you were very calm and
Lila saying she did enjoy it. She was stressed, but she enjoyed it. And you did sense that. And of course, the ice dancers are all epic performers, but there's sensed a feeling of authenticity in that performance, of real joy, as we look through the difficult turns there, that right forward inside rocker, which I actually was conscious of the depth of the edge set on the outgoing edge, particularly deeper than normal, I think, from Lila there. And just now making the comparison, interestingly, the levels assigned to Lila and Lewis, a level 2 for them, both in the midline step, whereas a level 3 for Charlene and Marco. Both the same level on the pattern dance type step sequence, but it is the grades of execution, the judges' ability to boost the technical score with their grade of execution, which is really playing favor to Lila and Lewis. Ramping up good, positive features as we see an athletic and dynamic rotational lift to round out the program. The judges have various criteria of positive and negative features which they have to tally up to ascertain the grade of execution between -5 and +5. I think that rotation lift will be in the +4 area. So they had an 84.38 already this season. They want to be considered alongside Piper and Paul's 85 last week at Skate Canada. It's an 81.57, but I think Coach Roman Aganar just acknowledging it's a bit low, but this event has been relatively low scoring. Perhaps that due to the technical panel's assessment of levels.
ただいまより整氷のため休憩いたします。次のペアショートプログラムの競技は
Well, that concludes the first event on day 1 in Osaka at the NHK Trophy. The result of the rhythm dance in line with the world ranking starting order that the couples came in for the top 3. Lila Pierre and Lewis Gibson, a very healthy and comfortable lead. Perhaps a surprise to see Maia Shibutani and Alex Shibutani in 6th place of the 10 teams as former Olympic medalists. Hard to pitch what they were hoping for here as they return to competition after a 7-year hiatus. But nevertheless, an exciting event as we continue to get a sense and a grasp of what is unfolding in this Olympic year, heading ever closer to the Olympic Winter Games in Milano Cortina. The ice dance event will conclude tomorrow. The free dance will be the first event to take place on the 2nd day of competition. As we look ahead to the remaining 3 disciplines yet to compete. Today, pairs event, pairs short program will take place next. As some of the audience members vacate in anticipation of what is yet to come, and of course the home audience will be so delighted to spectate the singles events, the final 2 events, the men and the women. Such strength in the Japanese skaters as we look back at the top 3, Caroline Green and Michael Parsons. Love this transition into their non-touch step sequence, which was perfectly on point with the music. Difficult, delivered well. Team, I'm sure, will be delighted with a clean skate. Potentially a bronze medal after the first part of the competition. Free dance yet to come, of course, tomorrow. Some of the challenges continue for the Italian champions, Charlene Guignard and Marco Fabbri. Not the dream skate that they were hoping for, but they do look like they're fighting. This performance was an aggressive one as they push back towards top-level contention this season. But the lead indisputably goes to Laila Fear and Lewis Gibson, the British champions, the world bronze medalists. And they, with the silver already in the Grand Prix, looking to secure their spot at the Grand Prix final back in Japan. And the top 6 teams from the Grand Prix series compete against one another at the final. Well, congratulations to all of the 10 teams competing in the rhythm dance. Make sure you join us for the pairs shot program, the next event at the NHK Trophy 2025.